I want you guys to understand, we haven't seen protests this big since the Iraq War, anti-war protests. And we are seeing demonstrations similar to George Floyd on the Palestinian issue. CJ, do any of you guys have any understand how fast these things are developing? I've been following this for years. For years, I've been following this issue. And to see the protests that we've seen this past weekend, I still maintain, I said it before, none of this is worth it. You know what I mean? None of this is worth the slaughter. But it is good to see that the tide is starting to change. And the segment I have after this is going to show the corporate media coping. That's another part of the segment. The corporate media coping with this reality where Zionists lost, fam. Like, you guys understand that Israel and the United States are isolated on the world stage. The United States is isolated and is blocking ceasefires. You know what I mean? Zionism, despite billions of spent on propaganda, despite controlling the airways and the narrative for years and decades, they lost. And that's brilliant. They are to the point, CJ, where they are forced to bomb kids. What did I warn you? What have Marxists warned you guys? People who still resist Marxism and that stuff. We told you guys, whenever capitalists start to really lose, like workers got a little bit of gains. Oh, we got Social Security. You got a little bit of health. No, nigga, you don't understand. Once capitalists truly start to lose, once their imperialist projects start to fail, the violence that they will endorse, you guys will see how unhinged ideology really is. And once again, I'm kind of spoiling my next segment too much a little bit here, but Ron DeSantis and the right is openly against free speech now because of this, because Zionists have lost the battle of ideas. But see, that's my intro to the segment. I'll pass to you, CJ. There's gonna be a lot.
And I have a slightly shorter intro, and I'll just read the headline: Genocide Joe, massive DC ceasefire protest directs its rage at Biden. And the sub-headline says, a diverse array of pro-Palestine demonstrators railed against the president in Washington on Saturday as the Israel-Hamas war rages. And this headline is, I believe it's from Rolling Stone. I'll read just a little bit from it to get started. This is all part of my intro to it. Biden, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide is a quote of one of the chants. From the march. Hey, ho, ho, Genocide Joe has got to go. That's another quote. And the reason I want to make sure I make the point to read these two chants about genocide, because it relates to some of the videos, the Bernie Sanders video, the Pramila Jaya video, where they're being forced to answer the question, do you agree that this genocide? But we'll get to that. But to further read this the snippet, the Biden administration has refused to call for a ceasefire. Demonstrators demanded one on Saturday while raging against the president. The Biden administration's reluctance to push for a ceasefire in Gaza could bring serious electoral consequences in the 2024 election, as the protests on Saturday made clear their support for Palestinian human rights has blossomed from a niche left-wing cause to a central tenet of the greater progressive movement. And I thought that was important to read. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
They're mourning the death of the progressive Accept Palestine movement. For years, the dominant strain on the United States left has been progressive Accept Palestine. And when we cover the Bernie segment, I don't have any tweets that say, I'm going to just go down the Bernie tab and show you people that have been holding on to the code of Bernie Sanders forever. Even they are turning against him now. You know what I mean?
Because I can't wait to see that. I got to see who these people are. To see who that
I don't want to call anyone out because a lot of people, they're doing good things by calling out Bernie.
Okay.
You guys know inherently that a lot of people that we're going to show, they held on. Like, people didn't like us. They was uneasy around us because of my critique of Bernie. Remember Marianne Williamson? Which was like, well, if you think that way about Bernie, you shouldn't vote for me. You know, like, my critique of Bernie hurts the PMC left feelings to the core. And even they're like, oh my God, greatest disappointment ever now. Fuck Bernie Sanders. Oh my God, Bernie. I've never seen this amount of anger on Bernie before. We are witnessing the death of the progressive Accept Palestine movement. You're either against Zionism or you're part of the liberal camp. And now people who held on closely to Bernie Sanders, they're now casting Bernie side to the liberal camp. And it's great to see, but I pass to you, CJ. I don't.
And it's because the sheer, and this is what you said, Nick. Zionism is causing the destruction of Zionism because of its brutality, because this is what's radicalizing the progressive except for Palestine group to be staunchly saying fuck that shit, not no progressive except for Palestine. No, I'm going all in. Is these photographs that I literally can't see, and I have not seen. I can't see dead bodies of little babies. I can't see dead bodies of little babies. That nigga, I would run out into the street ready to fight like somebody. I can't keep seeing that. But I believe that's what's radicalizing people. And even this reporter, understand he's from Fox News, but him being there, it's one thing to be like, I'm a propagandist and I got my talking points, I'm in the studio. But when you go out to the protests and you're out there hours and you're talking to people and you start hearing, and you're now the story is being humanized, and it comes out and is reporting on this. This is a Fox News report that we're going to play here. Were you going to say something before I hit the play button?
We can continue.
I can't see you, so let me know if you want to stop. It's a short clip, 3 minutes.
Israel, and they're calling for basically an end to military action in the Middle East region. Let me step out of the shot and give you a look around. You can see Freedom Plaza here is within sight of the United States Capitol building. We've got lots of people gathered out here. Some of the streets in the immediate area have been closed off. All kinds of signage: end all U.S. aid to Israel, let Gaza live, stop arming Israel, ceasefire now. Also some mock caskets with Palestinian flags out here. People have come out for a variety of reasons. Some telling us they are just supporting the Palestinian people. They want a free Palestine. They want new opportunity for the Palestinian people. They feel like this is about 75 years of struggle for the Palestinian people. And so they're out here expressing their support and calling for action and trying to send a message to President Joe Biden. This rally expected to go much of the afternoon, ending up near the White House later this afternoon. And it has really grown in size. We expect speeches to start in a matter of moments. I'm joined here by a protester from Northern Virginia. Her name is Ivana. Ivana, why are you here today?
I'm here just like everybody else. We are just outraged that this is still going on. We're outraged that the apartheid state is being funded by us. And we're here just to let the administration know that it's an absolute, it's kind of a, there's really no excuse. There's nothing to say. There's a genocide and we're paying for it. It needs to stop, and we'll vote him out if he needs to. So
you have experience in terms of being a refugee. Tell me a little bit about your story.
I immigrated here when I was a child because of the war in Bosnia. I am well versed with the trauma.
You mean the Bosnian War that the United States was well involved in?
The multi-generational trauma. I've witnessed genocide happen in front of our eyes. I think the most frustrating thing is that everything that is happening is textbook. It's textbook genocide. It's textbook.
Now, the reason I thought it was very important to play this in the beginning, or towards the beginning of this segment, is because the Bosnia thing sort of gives her credibility for this audience, or for people who, people who would be pro-Israel. Oh, yeah, we know what happened in Bosnia. Yeah, we took in some refugees. That's why she's here. You get what I'm saying? And how the United States saw what happened in Bosnia, you can't take away her sort of being given the expert hat of knowing what genocide is, and she's saying, I know it because I lived it. What is this reporter going to tell her about that? That's why I thought this was important, because she is saying, what are you going to tell me, sir? I'm from Bosnia. I knew, I saw what was going on based on their narrative of genocide happened. This is their narrative. You get what I'm saying? Happening in that their narrative. This is why this is important. So based on your narrative, I'm an expert, cable news people. And this is a genocide. This is so important that this is being shown on Fox News, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you were going to say something?
Is it interesting that I haven't seen any CNN, MSNBC report on the ground like this, actually talking to the protesters? And in the next segment, they're going to strawman them on MSNBC, the liberal network, and say they're essentially Hamas supporters. But you notice how Fox News is not good. You notice how they at least interviewed them. Maybe they was hoping they say some crazy shit. But MSNBC and CNN, they don't even they lack the journalistic integrity to even do that. They just straight up lied about all the protesters and said they were all pro-Hamas essentially. But go ahead, CJ. I'm still here.
You know what I just noticed? That's Jose Vega right there to the left of him.
Oh shit, my homie.
My God, I just noticed that. That is Jose Vega
crazy.
right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I just know that is dead on him. That is not mistake. That is him. Okay. So let's continue. I wonder if he knows this girl. No, he probably would be facing her. But let's continue.
Dehumanization, everything that I have heard in sort of the narrative of self-defense of Israel to justification for apartheid has been is familiar. Unfortunately, very, very familiar.
Do you feel for the innocent loss of life on both sides?
Of course I do. And I also feel for both my Jewish and my Muslim friends here who are undoubtedly showed up here knowing fully well they're going to experience discrimination. 3,500 kids in 3 weeks is one thing, is unconscionable. But the fact that the narrative of self-defense is exactly the same before and after should tell us all that the language is never going to change, that the language of defense for Israel as a state and is going to be forever unless.
Why this is so important now? These people, Nick, can't say, they can't quote these misinterpretations of our policy, our stances. You can't say, anyway. Well, I don't understand why you think this is a genocide. She is breaking down the logic, and that's why it's important. Go ahead, Nick. You were going to say something.
It's important because this is the only time they're going to get the truth. Because trust me, they will later turn around and lie about what these people said later. Yeah. But this is like you're right, CJ. I'm not pushing back, but this is like the few moment of time where they accidentally get the truth, but only if you watch the interview while it aired. Then later you're going to have Judge Janine Pirro that said, they're gonna say that all the young people here that want Hamas to kill all time. They don't learn. But go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, it sounds like we have the same setup. I do have some clips from some same networks about this for this segment. So cool. All right, so 10 seconds left. Let's listen.
We stop it.
Ivana, thanks for your time today. Emotions clearly running high out here. The crowd has been growing, and we expect that they will march soon from here in Freedom Plaza toward the White House to send a message to.
So shout out to Steve for that clip. And then there's no need to play sound or anything. These are just showing everybody the size. So these are all like 10-second clips just to show you that is massive, Nick.
Yeah, this is like Iraq war level. This is
that is incredible.
The anti-war showcase.
Let me play it with the
and it's like George Floyd. Like, if you take outside anti-war,
like, Jesus Christ, that is incredible. That is incredible right there. I thought when I went to mine, the one in LA was like probably 20,000-30,000, and I thought that was massive. I can't imagine. That has to be. That could be more than 300,000. But they did it. They did a little counter, and I'm gonna play that. We'll play that video too.
And CJ was so dope.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Bro, and CJ was so dope. I don't have time to pull everyone up, and there was too many to grab. But what's also cool is that like almost everyone who part of the RBN community that was in Washington was there. You know what I mean? Like there were so many people that like, yo, I'm at the protest. I met this person in DC. That it kind of made me jealous that I'm in the flower state over here. But there was like all the people we see on Twitter, all the people that we had on show.
Yeah, I wanted to be there myself, but I just couldn't make it. That's the
one of these days I may travel to one of these events, but I can't justify it in my budget right now. But one of these days. But it's good. But everyone who could be there was there. Like there was, Chris. I see someone.
I saw Max. I saw Bree. I saw Max and Bree. I saw
Bree. Dan Cohen.
I saw Aaron Matei.
Yeah,
Aaron
literally,
Buck, I'm sorry.
like the people who was RBN, they was all there who was able to make it. So, this is like
Here,
in
there you
terms
go.
of anti-war protests, we haven't seen anything since the Iraq War, and that happened under a Democrat. You know what I mean? That's wild. This is why we mentioned earlier. It was almost good to have this to have Trump lose. You know what I mean? It was good that Joe Biden won, so people can get just another example of why the lesser two evil Trump derangement system was bullshit. Is exactly that bullshit. One of my receipts is gonna have one of these people protesters say that, yeah, we're not voting for Biden after this. Like, it's just done. You know what I mean? And then liberals on Twitter, they react in no other way because they programmed. They said, well, what about Trump? And people like, bro, that shit is not working anymore. We've seen Trump, we've seen Biden. We got a genocide under one.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this last one, and then I'll pass it to you for any receipts, and I'll get some other receipts prepared. Oh, here's the one I'm gonna play from Jimmy, but let me play. This is the one I was looking for from Dan. So let's play this one from Dan, just showing you different perspectives of the march. Nick, you know how diverse this coalition is here, Nick? This is the diversity that we as Marxists talk and dream about when we're talking about labor, though. Now, this is about Palestine, but this is the sort of diverse. I'm talking about it's kids, it's families, it's elderly people in wheelchairs, it's handicapped. It's you see the rainbow flag, so you know our LGBTQ brothers and sisters are there. It's just everything is black, it's white. At least in LA, I saw it very mixed. Yeah.
And this is and I cannot emphasize this point enough. This is despite the unhinged rank propaganda that we've seen over the last 3 weeks. It's over for Zionists. It's over. The only thing they have is the gun. The only thing they have left is murdering as many kids, trying to get as many people fired from their jobs, ruin as many lives as possible for the end. I've seen this issue a lot. In 2014 was big response, but I never seen anything like this. Not even close. Not even close.
I'll pass to you for some couple of receipts, Nick. Go ahead.
They put something up here. Pretty much the same topic here. Dan Cohen has a lot of good footage of it. Here's a 100-foot long printout of the names of those killed by Israel.
Wow.
But wow. Joe Biden said he don't believe it. Joe Biden's a genocide denier. He said he don't believe the Hamas ran Gaza Health Ministry, the same ministry that's been quoted by humanitarian organizations, the UN, and governments all over the world for decades. Now Joe Biden is denying these names. And by the way, I feel extremely bad for victims of the October 7th attack, but Israel hasn't produced this. I'm going to say it. Like, there's still, like, the Gray Zone had a great report about Israel killing their own people on October 7th. And the 1,400 number that they keep quoting and corporate media quoting as fact has not been proven by Israel yet. There's been a Haaretz investigation into it, and they say the numbers are more like 700 to 800. Meanwhile, we got comprehensive lists. We see entire families being wiped out. On Twitter, you see pictures. Hey, this is this girl and her daughter and their entire family was just wiped out. Like, people's names straight up here. So this is powerful. This is another one. Kind of some more what you showed. This person said, we are witnessing the largest U.S. anti-war protest since the Iraq War. Dan Cohen had a lot of good ones. So you see there are a lot of people in our circle that was here. So I don't have time to pull all of us. So I know Dan posted quite a few, so I'll just go through some of his. Giant showing here. There's another shot of the crowd. Very diverse, as you said earlier before. I mentioned the same thing in Kansas City. Like, it was crazy the amount of people there. There were a lot of good coverage from Dan Cohen on his page as well. And because of this, like, despite the Zionist propaganda, this is happening. Huge, and then that's and me and CJ, we talked about this early on this last month. How we couldn't even sit through these statements. A lot of the statements were so outright. There was even a hint of journalistic integrity in New York Times, Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, and despite this assault of Zionist propaganda, demonizing the Palestinian people, you still have giant protests. You have numbers flip. We report on the numbers after October 7th, where everyone was like, yeah, kill everybody, kill 70% America, kill all the Palestinians. And then people saw the reality of what they was advocating for, and then that number jumped to 8% Democrats didn't support it. Majority of independents and Republicans don't support it anymore. Zionists, just like Ukraine, damn, I don't have time for that segment, but there's a segment we're going to do maybe tomorrow where the Ukraine war is over. They lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw
the United States said we got to advocate for peace. So Ukraine and NATO lost the messaging war, and they lost it very early and aggressively. The same thing we've seen happen in Israel. That's why they resorted to violence. And this is Cory Booker. CJ, do you have anything else on the rally that you wanted to cover? Because what I want to show next is how Democrats, and this is based on what these rallies are showing, they have no idea how much they fucked up after supporting the slaughter of Palestinians. As I say here,
no. The stuff I have, it can be inserted anywhere as long as we stay on Palestine. It can be inserted anywhere. But so go ahead with this one here.
All right, cool. You know how we do. We kind of ad-lib in here.
Yeah.
So there's no peace for Democrats now because these massive amount of demonstrations for Palestine, and now these people they're not just going to show up at one protest and let it go. There's no peace anywhere. Joe Biden's about to be in Chicago in a few days. Palestinian Community Network and the many other people about to protest him. We got to hope the police state don't go after him. But here's Cory Booker, and this is amazing because we know Cory Booker is one of my favorite people to roast, one of the biggest sellouts. His entire career was made by the Israeli lobby, just like Richie Torres, just like Hakeem Jeffries. These Black Congressional Caucus members like Cory Booker, they fight for Israel harder than they fight for their community, even pretend. Like, we know they fight for our community, not at all, but they don't even do the pretend fighting as much as they do for Israel. So I love that many people are taking the no justice, no peace approach to heart, because anyone that had anything to do with the genocide, including Bernie Sanders, anybody, should have no peace. No, let's get into the clip.
I want to call out to everybody right now, these final hours, this is what's on the ballot. We should know in New Jersey how privileged we are. There are so many places in our country right now where people want to make sure that we have. This is what makes America great.
Look at him. Get the fuck out. Pause it right there. So this is the new thing they're going to be doing. Yep. They're going to immediately take credit for the current protest that they're getting against themselves. See, now let me take credit as somebody's protesting me. Look, this is why America's great. It is so fucking phony, man. But go ahead with the rest of the video, Nick. Go ahead.
And we know it's a pattern. We spotted this out a while ago. They have a focus group tested, programmed line to say when protesters interrupt them. Do you remember when protesters interrupted Jamal Bowman? And he said the same exact thing you're about to hear Cory Booker says. You guys understand, these politicians, they are not free thinkers. They are puppets in a suit following a script. I told you, I used to be a salesman back in the day, car salesman, phone salesman. Believe it or not, like when I first started selling cars, there was a script I was following. And I was good enough at that point. I was really good at what I did. A lot of people had no idea I was following the script. And that's what politicians are doing. They have a script here. Whenever you're protested, you say, is this the good thing about America that you have the right to protest? Deflect from the issue. That's their trained response. I want you guys to see it. And then this trained response fails because the response is overwhelming. We've seen it posed that 80% of Democrats want a ceasefire. So we've seen plants in the audience that try to boot protesters, but this one was particularly interesting because there were so many people that supported the ceasefire, they couldn't even stop what was happening here like they usually do, CJ. And because I'm sure there was other Democrats in the room, they're like, yeah, we kind of need a ceasefire. So we're not gonna bail you out here. That might take from now. I want you guys see if you guys see the same thing I saw. Let's go back and watch it.
This is what makes America great. The power to protest. The power to have free speech. The power of America.
They start playing awkward music. I didn't catch that the first time. You see, they start playing music. They're like, we don't know what to do. We gotta bail them out. Play the music. I think it's hilarious. They're trying to draw them out with music.
Column A, all the way. 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 I want to call out.
That was a spectacular failure at the end. He was so panicked, he started to create another channel. Like, no, nigga, we gotta get louder then. What was that, Corey? What was that? But see, drop past you, but you gotta see this. Democrats are screwed, fam. Screwed. And last segment with Morning Joe, you guys noticed that whenever they talk about why Biden's losing, they never mention that it's because he's probably supporting the genocide. They did mention that, well, why Trump numbers better with Hamas, but what people don't understand is that Republicans going to support Trump no matter what. So the reason why Joe Biden losing on the Hamas thing is because Joe Biden lost a lot of Democrat support, pushing Trump over the edge.